Welcome back everyone. This is the last exercise for chapter 20, reducing balance loans. Now this means that the banks, what they do is they charge us interest and they add it to our loan if we've got a loan, but then when we pay some money, so we make a deposit, a repayment if you want to call it, they actually take that off, and then the interest, the next principal is different, so that next initial amount is different. So we have to continuously work it out because that's what the banks do. Now this one here says Jim borrows $4,000 from the bank at an interest rate of 12% per annum, compounded monthly. He makes regular monthly repayments of $500. How much of the principal has he repaid after 3 months? So we have to do each month separate because remember at the start of each month the principal has changed. It's different because we're making payments of this $500. So there's a few steps involved. They're all the same. So if you've got your calculator, it's really easy because the TI Inspire calculators keep everything on there. So you can just keep going up using the up arrow and picking the formula, changing the P because it's a new principal every month, and just press enter. So let's work it out. Mr. Addy's already written the formula down. A equals P times 1 plus R divided by N divided by 100 times NT. Our A is what we need to find. Our principal, as we read from the question, is $4,000. So we'll write that in. Our interest rate, we can see our interest rate is 12%, so we'll leave it as 12. Remember the percent's already in the formula. Don't divide by the percentage. Our N, well, compounded monthly, so there are 12 months in a year, so we put down the 12, and T is how many months we're looking at. Well, we're supposed to be years, but because we have to look at each month together, we have to do 1 month out of the 12, so 1 divided by 12.
That's because we're doing this first one, aren't we?
That's right, because we're doing the first month, so 1 divided by 12. So we'll put it into the formula. It's going to be a little bit squashy, but we'll try and work it out. 4,001 plus R being 12 divided by 12. Now, of course, you don't have to be a genius to work out 12 divided by 12. All divided by 100. And then N is 12. And then T is 1 divided by 12. So now that 12 divided by 12 divided by 100, you could have just put 1 divided by 100. And the 12 times 1 and 12, again, just equals 1. But it doesn't matter. When we use our calculator, we work out that the balance, the interest, we actually work out the A, which ends up being $4,040. Then to work out the interest, we need to subtract our principal. So we've got our $4,040, we subtract $4,000, so our interest is $40 only. Now to get our balance, we have to take our original principal, which was $4,000, add their interest, which is the $40, and subtract our $500 repayments. So we end up getting $3,540. So that's our new starting point for month number 2. So we can just hit the up arrow on our calculator, and instead of $4,000, we would write $3,540. The formula is exactly the same. We keep that as it is. And
that's because we're just doing 1 more month.
That's right, it's just the next month. And when we work this one out on the calculator, our A ends up being, so our total amount ends up being $3,575.40. That's $3,575.40. But we still need to work out the interest because that's what this question's asking, the interest for each month. So we subtract that $3,540 that we started off with, and our interest now is $35.40. That's for the second month. So to get our balance now, we've got the $3,540, what we started off with, plus the interest of $35.40.
And we had already had that there, didn't we?
We did. Take away our $500, and we end up getting $3,075.40. And Mr. Addy is quite right. They're making us work out the interest, but technically we had that $3,575 at the start, which is with the interest already in there. The third month, our P changes, and now our P is, you guessed it, $3,075.40, and when we work all that out,
It's just like a zigzag going down. Look.
it is.
There it is there. Then I've got to subtract to the principal that you work out.
That's correct, sir. And when our A for this one is $3,106.15. To work out interest again, we subtract that $3,075.40 and our interest becomes $30.75. Do the usual. Okay,
Again, zigzag here.
our
That.
balance.
That minus that, which gives us
Our balance being $2,606.15. But we haven't finished there. Always go back to the question to make sure that you've answered it. It says, how much of the principal has been repaid after 3 months? So how much have you paid off? Okay, we had started off with $4,000. That's how much we borrowed. We've still got $2,606.15 to pay off. So we've got to subtract those two to work out how much we've still got. And that, how much we've paid off. And that means we have $1,393.85 that we have paid off the principal. That's.
But really, you've paid $1,500, haven't you?
Technically, you've paid
Technically,
$1,500.
you've paid this much, but they're stitching you, aren't they?
That's
how
right,
they make
because of
their
the
money.
interest, and that's where they keep getting you. And there's the work that you need to complete this time, 20D. Again, ask us any questions in class if you need to.